Hey everyone, it's Will, GamerDad, with another video for you. So I'm sure you don't have to check your notices to know that a huge update is dropping, and this one is great for both veterans to the game, as well as those who are fans of Tales of series, as well as those who are new to the game as well. Update 2.5.4. So this one is the one that features the new characters, 4 characters from the Tales of series. So you can see that the 4 characters featured are Cress, Velvet, Mila, and Yuri. And the great thing about this is for new players, they may not have actually gotten through the main story that far, but you can still actually see some of the prologues. Even at chapter 2, you can start accessing the Crest series. However, in order to actually finish all 4 of them and eventually get all 4 of them to your team, you'll have to finish chapter 13. So Crest, first of all, is a fire type blade user. I think all of them actually are pretty much blade users, and they all have some sort of mystic art function where if they drop to 25%, they have some sort of almost like a finishing move where they can activate some desperation move. So that's going to be really, really interesting. So I'm really looking forward to adding these 4 to my collection. So it looks like there's going to be some AoE fire slashes, and in this case of Crest, I believe he can boost his own power while doing multiple attacks. Now Yuri looks to be an AoE wind slash user, so he has some single target, some AoEs, and again, being that he is a sword user, it's almost going to be like having another version of Azami, I guess, except that if he does have AoEs, that's going to be very useful. So not like Wind really needs a lot of power boosting, but still, another character. And we'll have to playtest this, so I mean, I'm sure that once I get through all of the storyline, I can do 5-star reviews of all 4 of these units as well. And again, with his finishing move, it's going to be very similar to the other ones where I guess when you hit a certain HP point, you can do some mega attack. Now, just from reading different comments on Reddit, I think Mila as well as Velvet are 2 fan favorite, of course, as well. In terms of Mila, she is a water type mage user that happens to be a sword user too. So it'll be really interesting to see how this plays out and whether or not the multiplier on some of these magic attacks or the damage from her slash attacks is going to be pretty good. And I think her finishing move is a little bit different from some of the other ones that do multiple AoE slash attacks. This one seems to be where you have a 4 times AoE attack, each one dealing a different element. So it's almost like you could probably use it during any elemental AF, and it'll add to that for your elemental zone team. So that should be really interesting how to use that. And finally, Velvet again is an earth unit and slash attack just like everyone else, and same as the other 3. All of them have a similar kind of function with the mystic art kind of desperation move. I guess this will be very similar to the P5, where all the Persona 5 units kind of had their own one more special move, and I guess this is a tribute or a reference to the Tales of in their original form. So yeah, these are going to be great, powerful units, and keep in mind, for those who are new to this game, these are all permanent content. You don't have to finish it right away, although later on in this video, you'll see that if you start right away, you do get a bonus stones for getting that, which is more summoning currency. Otherwise, for us veterans, hey, 4 new powerful 5 stars to our team. Looks like all different elements. It's going to be awesome. And if there are any sort of power level similar to Skull and Violet, we're in for a mega treat. So let me know in the comments below how familiar you are with the Tales of, and how excited you are for this particular update. For the rest of us, there's actually AS Bertrand almost as an afterthought. Keep in mind that this is actually a split banner with Yifa. I still remember that last summon I had on Yifa. Hopefully this time around I'll have a little bit more luck. Bertrand this time is the AS version, so instead of just being a more defensive type Earth Pierce unit, it looks like he has a lot more power to him. So he can boost his own speed and power, single target, stacks, I guess, his AS orbs on the enemy, and depending on the number of stacks, can deal more damage. So I think there was actually a video in Japan where AS Bertrand did 100 million damage in a single hit. And of course, multiple stacks of other debuffs by the other support members on the team. But still, the potential for him is there. All right. So one thing to note is that this is actually one of the best times to start this new game if you haven't already. First of all, obviously, there are Fateful Encounters, which are basically paid encounters. You have to pay real money to summon on them. And so there is the typical A.S. Bertrand one. There's a healing one for those who are new to the game but new to Great Healer. That's a 5-star. And there's also the Earth Ringing series, which is actually great. It features not only A.S. Bertrand, but Mayumva as well. So Mayumva is a zone setter for Earth. And if you missed it the first time around, she is really, really useful in Earth Zone. So, and the only Earth Zone in Japan as well as global. So, you might want to pick her up here. Finally, the Brilliant Encounter is great for, most of us in the fact that you can use 1,000 non-paid stones and guarantee yourself a 4.5 or a 5-star. So, essentially upgradable 5-star. Very powerful units for new players to the game, and even for us here who've played since day one. We'll never turn down a 5-star that we can get, or even a 4.5 that can even upgrade to a 5-star. Not to mention the Fateful that gives you 2 5-stars guaranteed for 1,000 paid stones. So that is 2 for 1. Usually you only get 1 guaranteed 5-star. If you start the game now and you have it before, 1,000 free stones for you. If you start the Tales of Time episode, that's another 1,000 free stones, and that's for both new and veterans alike. So I know that some of you may think about re-rolling accounts, that is kind of loading it up and kind of seeing what you get on the 10 pull and trying again. This is a great time to start the game in order to do that, because you'll have multiple tries to get ultra powerful units, and one of the banners guarantees at least a 4.5 or 5. So I'm going to be very, very excited to see this update tomorrow. Like most updates, as you know, Gamer Dad is also a working dad. I'll try to have as many videos of the different prologues and the gameplay. I don't expect the difficulty to be extremely hard. However, I'm expecting that there's going to be some sort of super boss. Hopefully it's not as difficult as Twins from the Persona 5 series. But that being said, I'm always up for a challenge and we'll see how it goes. Otherwise, I'll keep on, grinding through the content and hopefully producing more great videos and content for you. So, again, let me know in the comments how excited you guys are for this particular update. Like I said, this is the biggest one in a long time. And not only that, remember, this is dropping at the same time as Japan and Taiwan. So we actually don't have the advantage of looking at online guides in order to work our way through this. So we're just going to have to do it the old-fashioned way and just figure everything out, talk to everyone, play it the old traditional RPG way. For those who don't know, I actually started my younger gaming days with Final Fantasy 1, 2, and 3, moving on to the Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, 10, and 12. Of course, Chrono Trigger as well. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.